Well, hey, Northland, welcome back. This morning we are talking about a very special story taking place and unfolding right now at the Time Warp Theater. They're opening up a new season with a powerful mix of music and storytelling, honoring the history and, of course, the mystery of the Great Lakes. South Shore High School classmates Kathleen Laakso and Bruce Nelson are both with me here in studio to talk about When Storms Come Calling. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to be here.
So I do need to ask about that. Before we jump into this play, tell me about you guys growing up together a little bit and now being creative collaborators. Amazing.
Everybody in South Shore writes plays, I think. Go on, maybe not.
What's in the water over there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We had our own strengths. You know, mine was English and theater, and Bruce was always playing piano, and he still is. And then we went a different way. I went to Texas, and he went to Winona and then Moscow.
And then Russia.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So something brought you guys back here, and you're putting on this storyline, really covering more than 3 centuries of the Great Lakes. Tell me about it.
Well, you know, with the 50th anniversary of the Fitzgerald loss, people were saying, well, Kathy, you should write a play about that. And as I started my research, I thought, you know, 50 years really isn't that long ago when you think about history, and there are still people who are there, and I didn't want to exploit them. They had been done so much that back then. And so I started thinking, well, what is it like for people, you know, waiting, you know, there's always somebody waiting for somebody to get back, and during the storms it must be quite terrifying. And so I thought, and the Great Lakes, we live next to the largest one, and I thought, well, how about writing about them? And there were so many. There were 6,000 shipwrecks on the bottom. So it was a long process, over a year of research and writing.
So how do you navigate that? Obviously, there is so much that you can cover and dive into, but you have to delegate.
Yes. Yeah. I cut a lot of. You know, I'd start writing a scene, and then it didn't have enough maybe dialogue or something, and so I would cut that. There was a couple of those, but I'd pick the ones that were in storms. One time I had a fire, and then I thought, well, this isn't a storm, so I cut that. And so just the ones that were, some of them were more horrific than others, and it was the human aspect of it that I really zeroed in on.
I think that was the really important thing, is to have talked about the people that were left. You know, the family members that were left. And there are a couple bits in the show about the lighthouse keepers and what they went through. So it was the people that were related.
Women lighthouse keepers,
so it was a little different take, rather than just focusing on the wrecks themselves. It was kind of the aftermath. And,
well, and Bruce, your music plays a pivotal role in such a storyline. As you just spoke about, there's so much emotion that you are capturing, and music really helps tell that story. Can you talk about putting that together?
It was really a wonderful challenge. At first, really intimidating, because I've written thousands of songs, literally, but I used to write for high school choirs and things like that, school choirs. But then to have things where I have to specifically focus on a particular story, but you can write really beautiful and poignant music when you're talking about things like that, you know, that are so emotionally charged. So I love doing it. As a matter of fact, I have to say that initially I was almost like, I don't think I could do this. And then about 20 minutes later, I had the first song, you know, pretty much sketched out, and I'm like, this is really exciting. And then I think about an hour later, I had the second one done. I'm like, okay, now I got it.
And I was going, woo!
You built that confidence.
Yeah, but he takes the information and he relates it in the song, and it's just, he does a wonderful job. This is the second collaboration we've had.
Wow.
And I just say, this is what I want to say, and he just does a wonderful job with it. You're just a wonderful writer, and beautiful music, and funny. There's a couple funny ones.
Well, and that helps, right? There is so much to this story, and you guys had a fabulous first week of showcasing this, right? I mean, selling out last Sunday.
Yep.
And now we've got
we're
some more
close
shows
to being sold out on Sunday, so I would advise anyone who would like to see it to come on Friday or Saturday, and because Sunday is not going to be a thing. You know, it's getting pretty full.
Lastly, what do you hope the audience takes away?
They learn a lot, and I think from what we've seen, people have been tremendously entertained by it.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch the audience because they are so focused
Yeah.
because the stories really draw you in.
Yeah. And they'll come to me afterwards and say they've known someone on the Fitz, or they were sailing during the loss of the Morel, and it's very emotional for some people. They cry. And
I had one older gentleman tell me, he said, saying about how he had enjoyed it, he said, I have to tell you, he said, I spent most of the first hour and 20 minutes crying. Now, I had not seen him crying, but I mean, he was just really filled with emotion over it because he had connections to the people.
oh yeah, and that was the early part of the show.
Yeah.
And then the Fitz is the second part. So.
Right.
It hits
Yeah.
local, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
It does.
This is our community, and
And our
you
lakes.
have a chance. Our
Yeah.
lakes.
Yeah.
You have a chance to learn a little bit more, and of course, again, be entertained by some fabulous artwork. You two, thank you for being here.
Thank
if people
you.
Thanks
want
for
to
having
get
us.
tickets, can they get them at the door? Should they get them in
You
advance?
can get them at the door. Just give us a call. We have the telephone number there, and or online. I guess it's Time Arc Theater. Yeah.
There we go. All right, we'll have more info also on our website following this newscast.